Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you're all having an amazing day. I just wanted to say that I'm super sorry that I haven't been able to post videos for a month. I just started another job. I work at a school, and so that takes up every day besides my weekends. And I want to spend that time with my husband, so I'm sorry. I've had this case planned out for 2 weeks now, and I just haven't gotten around to filming it because it takes 3 hours, so for just a 25-minute video, so but I'm back and I'm gonna try and hope for at least a video each month. I know that's not a lot, but I'm trying. Today's case is gonna be another missing persons case, and what I think is funny is that okay, I love true crime and I love watching, I was just watching videos when I was setting up, and I don't like watching unsolved videos. I like having that closure, but for some reason when I'm typing and doing my own research and stuff, the ones that are unsolved are more interesting to me. So all of my cases have been unsolved so far, so let me know if my cat is making noise. Atlas, can you say hi? Say hi, I'm a little terrorist. I'm a big boy, huh? Hi. Okay. There's cat hair everywhere. Oh my gosh. Oh no! Well, now you know where it's from. Let me know if you guys want to see more unsolved or solved cases, or whatever you want to see down in the comments. I'm going to try and do a little bit of both, but yeah, for right now I just don't have any solved, I guess. So I'll try and make my next one a solved case. This video today was actually suggested by somebody in the comments on my first video. Their name was Jerry Steiner or Gary Steiner, or I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm so sorry. But I'll leave a little snippet of their comment. And I looked into all of the ones that he suggested, but this one, wow, this one really caught my attention, you guys. Literally, this guy just disappeared. Disappeared. There is no sign of him. God just took him away. That's what it seems like. It's crazy. So, yeah, let's get into that. Our victim today's name was Jeromy Ivan Childress. And it is spelled a little differently. You can see on my sign over there. I don't know, that's not how I would spell Jeromy. I have an uncle named Jeromy, and that is not how you spell his name, but, it's okay. I don't know, that was so dumb. Okay. Jeromy was 31 years old at the time of his disappearance. He was about 170 pounds, and he was about 5'10". He had brown hair, brown eyes, and a mustache. He was married. His wife's name was Christian Childress, and they had 2 children together. They had 3-year-old Kelsey and 8-month-old Jesse. Jeromy worked as an industrial painter, so like big bridges and buildings and big stuff, not just an artist, He was an industrial painter. His family said that his favorite foods were chicken adobo. I've never heard of that, but I'm sure it sounds good. Taco Bell, which is also my husband's favorite. We just had it last night. So, Chevys or anything else that's Mexican. Jeromy absolutely loved the outdoors. He loved anything that had adventure, taking risks, literally anything that you can think of that you can do outdoors. He loved it. My dad is personally the same way, so I can totally understand where Jeromy is coming from because I have lived that life. My dad is, if he could live in the forest, he would. Some people just walked by the window and they didn't see me, thank God. I don't know, that would have been really awkward. You can see straight in here. Okay. On Sunday, October 17th, 2004, Jeromy was on an annual elk hunting trip with one of his buddies named named Shane and Shane's son. I just mix those 2 words together. They were on Trask Mountain in Tillamook, Oregon, and I probably didn't say that right, so forgive me. Obviously I can't talk today, so I'm sorry. It's also what the cheese is named after. If you go to Fry's or Walmart or something and you see the Tillamook or Tillamook cheeses, that's what it's named after. Shane said that the 3 were out hiking that day looking for some firewood that They could bring back to their campsite, but they had gotten lost, and so they were kind of just aimlessly hiking, trying to find their campground. After about an hour of seemingly useless attempts to try and find their way back to camp, Shane's son started to get frightened, so they just headed back to their truck. Jeromy was persistent that he could find his way back to camp, that he didn't need to go back to the truck, that he could find it. It was just like 100 yards away. He just needed to go through the brush and find it. So they separated. Jeromy went to go find camp, and Shane and his son went back to the truck to find it that way. And Shane said that Jeromy walked into the brush at about 4:30 p.m. that evening, and he was never seen again. Shane and his son eventually found their way back to camp in the truck, but Jeromy wasn't there, and there was no signs that he had been there. All of Jeromy's gear was at campground besides what he had taken with him on that hike. He had a fully loaded rifle, a pocket knife, a half pack of cigarettes, his wallet, and his car keys. And none of those were at camp because they were on him and he hadn't returned. The area where Jeromy vanished was described as super steep, super rugged, just like full of trees, like literally so jam-packed with like brushary and trees and everything. Like it was so crowded. There were lots of fallen trees, and it was populated with bears, cougars, and coyotes. During my research, I found that a user on Reddit said, quote, "As someone who has hunted this area extensively, I can say that once you start going into the Tucka Creek drainage, it gets pretty dangerous. It gets extremely congested with thick downfall from trees and steep hillsides. These tend to suck you in once you reach the bottom of the drainages. They just keep going and going, all the while getting steeper. Tucka Creek eventually runs into a logging road that, if crossed, would lead you into the Elk Creek drainage. If you were to stay on the logging road and go north, it leads back to a boundary road towards the camp. If you try to hike out of Tucka Creek drainage to the south, you end up going into the creek drainage that's extremely steep and is basically no man's land until you get to the Nestucca River. If Jeromy hiked north, he would have come into the Stretch Creek area around Boundary Creek. It's steep, but there's a better chance to hit a logging road." I know that probably sounded like a bunch of jabberish to a bunch of you, but basically this place was somewhere that you did not want to be lost. Many search parties have been held since Jeromy has been missing, one that even consisted of over 300 people and they combed through this treacherous terrain trying to find Jeromy. And since 2004, they have found absolutely nothing. Nothing that shows where he went, what could have happened to him. Nada. Nothing. At the time of his disappearance, he was wearing a dark brown Carhartt type jacket, stonewashed Levi jeans, a blue Nike baseball hat. He was wearing a gold wedding band with 5 diamonds at a diagonal, a silver Citizen watch with an Eco Drive, and he had a pierced left ear, a dolphin tattoo on his right shoulder blade, and a phoenix on his left shoulder. The sheriff in charge of this case said that they usually have about 1 or 2 hunters that get lost every year, but they all eventually find their way back to like a service road, but not Jeromy. What happened to him still remains a mystery to this day. His wife, Kristen, was able to declare him dead in 2006, and an obituary was made for him. It says, quote, "In loving memory, on October 17th, 2004, you became missing and have since been declared deceased. Time has not healed the endless pain and grief, but God is our strength. You were ours for 31 years. We loved you and always will. Your grandma, Donna Childress Sanders, and family." End quote. Kristen Childress was left to explain the disappearance of her husband and the father of her 3-year-old daughter, Kelsey, and their 8-month-old Jesse. Jesse at the time didn't understand. He was 8 months old. It didn't really affect him at that time, but to Kelsey, the 3-year-old, I'm sure it was heartbreaking. I can imagine having to deal with this type of situation, not only losing the love of your life, but then having to explain to your daughter how he's not coming back. Kristen was quoted saying, "I tell her he is in her heart and in the stars. She makes wishes to the stars and says, 'I love you.' And she has a flashlight that she goes up and points at the stars to look for him." That is literally heartbreaking. When I was researching this case, I was in tears. Like, it was so sad. Kelsey, his daughter, probably only has really vague memories of him. And his son probably doesn't even remember him at all because he was only 8 months old. Thank you. The clothes are done. Fortunately, the community around them was really loving, and they reached out and tried to help the best that they can, and both kids have memorial funds. There are a few different types of theories in this case, so we're gonna dive right into them. Kristen Childress said that her husband probably kept on moving in that foggy, rainy day, even though it was dark, so that he could keep warm, even though the terrain was awful. Deputies who searched that area for him said that it was some of the worst terrain that they had ever been through. If he hunkered down up behind a log, he might have lasted a couple of days, said Tillamook County Sheriff's Deputy Don Taylor. If he fell and had a compound fracture or was bleeding badly, he died that night, he said. Personally, I don't think he would have succumbed to the elements that easily. If he was that into the outdoors, I would think that he would be, super prepared for that kind of stuff with all the tips and tricks for survival. I know that my dad, who I said before, is just like that, super into that survival, going outdoors. He has all the tips and tricks, but, knowing and applying is totally two different things, and we don't even know if he did know all that type of stuff. He could have become hurt or gone into shock or a million different reasons. But the only other thing I struggle about in this theory is if he had succumbed to the natural elements, there would have been some type of evidence behind. Like, there would have been a body, there would have been his gun, his clothes, something. Like, even if animals had come and eaten his bones, his body, whatever, there would still be pieces of him. There would still be bone fragments, there would still be clothes, there would still be his rifle, there would still be his pocket knife, all those kinds of things, but there was absolutely nothing. Another theory that I've seen only on Reddit is super interesting to me, and this is the one that I'm kind of leaning towards. It suggested that maybe Jeromy, Shane, and Shane's son were, hiking through all this fog, this treacherous terrain, and that Shane's son, he was holding a gun as well, that he tripped in the fog and accidentally misfired, and it hit Jeromy somehow, causing him to be severely injured or even killed. And Shane's son covered up the body. With the terrain and the dense fog, they wouldn't have been able to bury him very deep, but maybe deep enough that it hasn't been found yet, maybe under a bush or a log. I couldn't find any information that Shane or his son were looked into as suspects or even questioned about this, and investigators said they didn't expect any foul play. I do think this could be a very plausible explanation. Oh no! I just kicked my camera. I do think this could be a very plausible explanation. One thing that really bugs me is that when Shane was listing all the things that Jeromy had on him, he said a half pack of cigarettes, and I guess it could be explained, but I don't understand how he would know that there was a half pack of cigarettes unless they were burying his body and throwing all his stuff in there, and he knew exactly that there was that half pack of cigarettes. But yeah, they could have buried his items with him, and that's why nothing has been found. I don't know. It seems a little suspicious to me. The third theory is that he used this opportunity to run away and create a new life, but this theory has been shut down. His wife and his family know that this would never be the case. They said that he adored his family, his wife, and his 2 children, and that he was so happy with life. His wife said that there was no way he would leave his 2 children behind. Plus, his bank cards haven't been used since he went missing, and that's a really big indicator that somebody was going to go and, create a new life. There was no huge cash transactions to get money to leave or anything like that, so this theory just isn't really believable. However, we probably won't ever get to know what happened to Jeromy. I send my heart out to his wife and to his children. I don't know where they are right now, but I hope that they have been able to cope with this and that they've been able to, feel the love of the family and the community around them. There's some really cool websites that have been dedicated to Jeromy, so I urge you to go check those out. It doesn't seem like the petitions and stuff, the links on those websites work anymore, so I'm not really sure on that behalf, but they're still worthwhile to look at. Let me know which theory you guys think is most plausible. For me, it's definitely the one that Shane and his son has something to do with it. I don't want to, jump to conclusions because I didn't see any interviews. I didn't see anything from Shane or Shane's son, so I really don't know, but that one seems pretty plausible to me. This was definitely a super interesting case. After it was suggested and I did a quick Google search, I just fell down a rabbit hole. I don't understand how someone can just boom and just disappear without any trace. But yeah, so please keep suggesting cases to me. Obviously, this is a suggested case and I loved researching it. So I'd love to hear what you guys want me to research about and cover on this channel. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. I will see you soon, hopefully. I'm sorry again that I've been gone for so long. I really love doing this and I want to keep doing it. I just won't be able to post as much because I do have 2 other jobs that I have to, you know, go to. I gotta make that money somehow. So yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!